Alright, one last thing. Need to get the height of the motor to the bracket, and I'm just gonna say it's 28 inches. And plenty of room. This is good stuff. So anyway, I was hitting the sauce and editing the last video, same day, and I had a Jimmy Neutron brain blast. I know how I can get these springs to work. I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. So anywho, these are 5-leaf springs. I think they're like probably 2,000 pounds each. Okay, quit. No, you can't have that. I'm sorry. So, it dawned on me, why don't I just take 3 of the dang leaves off? That'll give me a 2,000 pound spring, so I'm going to do that now. Anyway, so got that off, and it all exploded right there. I haven't touched it. It just fell right out of the vise and then cut my hand up. I don't know which springs I'm going to use. I'm guessing I'm going to use the 2 biggest ones, and I guess that's it. And then I'm just going to snip that, clean that bolt up, and then snip it back down. So most of the 1,000-pound springs I see are 2-leaf, but they're a larger spring. Just looking at how thick these are, I'm just gonna go with 2. I don't think it's gonna do me wrong. Like, as I've stated before, the whole trailer probably, once everything is on it, including the axle, is probably only gonna weigh 500 pounds, and the boat with the motor and everything else is probably only 200. So overall, the whole load's only gonna be like 1,000, and it's a 2,000-pound axle. So I don't think I'm gonna, unless I let the thing fill with water, I don't think I'm gonna have a problem. Plus, I have no idea what the actual load on these springs means, because I'm stupid. But I'm assuming these aren't super heavy because they're off a boat trailer. It wasn't a super big boat trailer I took them off of either, so I can only assume they're like 3,000-pound springs. I can do 3 springs if I really, really want to. The only thing is, I need to decide right now whether or not I want to do overslung or underslung, because I'm realizing that whatever direction I put that bolt in, whatever side the nut is the opposite side from where the axle has to be. I really want to try overslung, but I really don't think I have the clearance without cutting the spindles off. But, then again, do I really need the old spindles? I think I'm going to call it. I think we're going to do underslung, just to be safe. Fuck it, we're going with 2 leaves. Alright, and this bolt is pretty sketchy looking, so I'm going through the extra effort, and I'm making sure to clean up these threads, because I do not want these fine threads to cross. I'm not trying to lose any fingers tonight, so we're using a little more safety than when we took it apart. That should be good. Snug that up with the breaker bar, and then we'll move on to the next spring. And if I do want to try these overslung instead of underslung, if it just starts looking like it's right, I'll just do this again, back them off. Shouldn't be that hard. And that's one spring did right there. So I'm just going to leave that as is while I test it, because that gives me a lot more slop to readjust it if I decide to do underslung. I don't know if I'm going to chop that off or not. I haven't thought about it yet. So we're going to work on this one next, and I'm trying not to explode my C-clamps. Well, that one fought considerably more, but we got it off, so let's start backing off these C-clamps and see if it wants to kill me. There we go. And I didn't cut myself yet. There's 2 springs. Refurbished for my uses, and hopefully they're not grossly too weak. They don't feel weak at all. I really think this is like a 4,500 pound set. So my guess is that right there would be 1,800, which would be perfect. I'm not an engineer, I'm a biologist, but I'm gonna go try and put those on right now. Except for it's dark as dick, so I think I won't. I'll do that another day. Well, I've got the springs on now. As you can see, they're hanging nice and snug. I got no idea what the torque spec is supposed to be for this, so I do what I always do with suspension bolts when I don't know the torque spec, and that's honk on them until they start to squeak and then give them their full turn. And that's what I did with all four sides, and they're in there nice and snug. I don't know if the round eye is supposed to be loose or not. It's not supposed to have a bushing in it or anything. So hopefully that's fine. It'll keep it from banging around at the very least. So I have the axle stuffed up on that center block at the moment, and I'm just seeing where it lines up. And we may not have quite enough clearance for the tires. I think the tires sit about 2/3 out, so we're gonna have about probably yay much. So they'll be sticking just out the side of the mud flap, which will look stupid, so I may just leave it so that it fits, but I don't know. I think I might just move that out one more and just have it hanging totally on one bolt. We'll see. Alright, there's one axle down. Those went on with not a lot of trouble, so now it's time to jack it up and stick some wheels on it. And that's one wheel on. And the bearings feel just about right. And there we go. That's a boat on wheels right there. And that's how she'll sit behind the truck. That's sitting right at 16, which is where it's going to sit. And I got just a little bit of tip down here on the back. And even though I had to do underslung, that's going to be perfect. And the tire line's cleaned up perfectly, actually. They are dead on the money. So look at that. That one sticks out a smidge. But I can live with that. So I didn't want to have to move those mud flaps because I actually have a good bit of strength right here, and I can use that as a step. So saves me the work. I think I'm just going to leave this as is. I am going to take this out and test on it. Just pull the trolling motor and all that stuff on it and just drive it around. Make sure it doesn't explode or do anything stupid. And then we're going to load all the crap in it, stick the motor on it, and haul it around, make sure it carries. I may do some sort of come-along setup across the back just to keep it from fishtailing. Don't know. I want to figure out a quick way to do that. Haven't thought on it too much. Then we're going to stick it in the water. This thing's been, that motor's been sitting in my yard for the better part of 3 years, and I've had this boat for about a year, and I'm excited to actually do something with it. It's proven. The deep cell, she's dead as a doornail. So bye trolling motor. Well, we got the boat all loaded up in the trailer, suspension is all made, and I'm just gonna haul this around the neighborhood. I've only got it roped off slightly on each side. I got probably foot of slack on each side because I just want to see how this track's only secured at the front. Got a couple of things I still need to work out. I need to put some chains on the front so I can hook it on securely because I expect this will break at some point and fall apart. And I just want to make sure it stays attached to my car so I'm not liable. And I'm probably going to work out a come along or something, or some sort of straps for the back end to latch it onto the carry handles. Don't know yet. I'm just going to escort this boat all around hell and back just to see if I can make it fall off. And you'll be listening to some royalty-free music if I can figure out how this time-lapse works. So enjoy. she actually, she towed pretty good. She might have pulled a smidge to the left, but that's fine because my car pulls a smidge to the right, so it almost balanced out the car. But, you know, she tracked just fine. Took her on the interstate. She did 75. Didn't notice other than the extra weight, I didn't notice, anything. That pylon does not like interstate speed though. That little bracket down there broke, so I'm gonna have to shore that up with something metal. Those aluminum things I made were just sort of a kludgy stopgap measure I did. Well, that's the entire boat, but anyway, I'll have to work on that. It did come off of the rails at one point when it hit a bump too hard. That's on me for driving like a jackass, but I'm trying to test it to its extremes right now, just to see what it'll do in a worst case scenario. Safety strap came off. Thing bounced up and this came off. I did not have the safety chain on either. You saw me get out and fix that. So I took this pawl off because it didn't fit, but I need to add something back on, some kind of positive latch. I don't know, maybe I'll put something on there, carabiner or something, hook it through there, figure something out. But yeah, she needs a positive connection up there. She also needs a positive connection back here to keep her from bouncing around. I think just a little tie down strap, hook it to that, run it under there, under that pipe, hook it to that. It should be perfect. And once I have the motor on here too, that's going to be another 100 pounds for the motor, another 20 pounds for the gas tank. I already got the 20 pound anchor back here. So she may start fishtailing, but I've got this axle so far back that I don't think that's going to be a problem. That's why I tried to keep it as far back like this, just to keep from loading it too weird and have this thing flop all over the place. But yeah, that's really all it is. I need to make a set of chains up there for the front to connect it to the Jeep. I need to fix that pylon, make that more stable, get a dedicated tie down to hook up back here to hold it in place, get a positive lock for the front to hold that down, and whole trailer will be done. I'm not going to do anything else to it. Everything else is good. One thing I did not check was whether or not the hubs are crazy hot. And no, those are already cold, so it's probably been 15 minutes since I parked it, so not worried about that then. Yeah, next step is going to be I need to go find a nice quiet water body somewhere. I may just tie it off to a tree and take it to one of my relatives' boat ramps and put it in the creek, just to make sure she doesn't have any major leaks. Just go out there, sit it in the water for an hour, check for leaks, check for anything. If she has any leaks, take her back, flip her over, do all that, and once I'm confident she holds water, just gonna put the motor on it, and we're gonna see if she can putter around somewhere. I'd love to do that on a private water body if at all possible. So by my bad luck, DNR doesn't show up the one time I put it in the water and then hit me with a massive fine for operating a vehicle I don't own without title that's not registered. But yeah, whatever. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But that's my suspension of disbelief. Till next time, I'm out.